What's up, my favorite internet nerds? It's been a while since we worked on our little lawn mower. I don't even know what to call it anymore. It's got drag tires on it. I got a couple things since the last time you seen me. We went to Princess Auto, basically the Canadian Harbor Freight. We got some 1-inch spline axle stuff, whatever you call that. Some 1/2-inch bar, and then some pillow block stuff for our steering thingamajiggers, because we left off not finishing our steering thingamajiggers. Also got a cool velocity stack for the front, but I have to do some massage work to get it to fit in there on our turbo, but that's going to be cool once we put that in there. And since none of y'all are subscribing, you don't see my other videos, since the last time we done this, we did a big ass wheelie in our car. We also put twin turbos in the wife's car, and I did a poop. So, take this off. My die grinder thingamajigger's inside. This thingamajigger by DeWalt, pretty good. It's the drywall one. They actually make a die grinder one. I bought the wrong one. It's my own fault, but it still works pretty good. And that's what it's gonna sound like when I turn it on. Cool. I just want to see how cool it's going to look. It's already looking fergalicious. That's it. You guys are right. You talked. I listened. You guys talked. You said get a velocity stack for the front. I got a velocity stack for the front. It looks super cool. I don't care what Peg said about you guys. You guys are pretty all right in my books, no matter how bad he talks about you. Oh yeah, works pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this front clip back off, and I think we're gonna start working on the exhaust side of this thing. Get a header built. I did pick up a 1.75-inch V-band clamp so I can join the two headers together, because I believe they were slit fit before. This is gonna help us join them up. And we got some welding and cutting and grinding and stuff to do. So let's open up the app and get to grinding. I mean, get to, well, something not to do with the app. Damn, DD Speed Shop. DD Speed Shop? DD Speed Shop. To start, you need flanges. We're gonna need one for here. We're also gonna need two, so one here and one here. This schedule piping actually fits in there pretty good. So we need something that ovals around this, that kind of like pulls it into there. So even if we just weld tabs onto this, drill holes, and bolt this piece into there, we have something to build off of. And we're gonna need one for both sides. And because it's angled in this way, that's why you can't join the two pipes together. You have to have something that V-bands or slips on. So this will curve down like this, I think. V-band right here, and then go in, and then this one will go into that one. We did it! All right, our flange is, good enough. What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take a bunch of these pieces that I have here. I thought about using the 1-inch stuff, but I don't have a V-band clamp for the 1-inch stuff. It would have worked. It's a little bit on the small side, but it would have been so easy to work with. So we're using 1.5-inch stuff because it fits in the V-band. We're gonna have to put these pieces inside here and build something to hold those on, and a piece here. That way our bolts still fit in there. And then this piece fits inside this piece. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a transition piece where we cut this one here and that one there, and it makes a little weld like that. So two can go into one. Okay, so here's the earth. And if you know that, then you're probably old enough to watch this video. We have to find a way to contain this inside of this. So what I've done, so I've drilled out a piece of flat plate. We'll probably end up cutting it off, welding a piece onto there, and then drilling 2 holes in this plate, and then obviously shaping it down to match, get it bolted up, and that'll be our starting point. Didn't mean to do that. is still hot, but let's see if it fits first before we do anything with it. Oh yeah, nailed it. So now we just have to drill out the other one, shape this, and they should bolt right in there. This one's a little bit on the long side, that's okay. I think it's gonna work. Now what we have to do is cut out everything outside this little black rough line here, and we have a starting point basically. It's 2 pieces on the header side and our flange on the turbo side. And then we've got to build some intricate piping that we don't have enough piping for. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, we always figure it out. I guess that's nice to know. We have a stud broken off in here. No wonder I couldn't thread a bolt in it. I was in here for like 4 minutes trying to put a bolt in there. Stupid ass. And here comes the fun part. We get to play adult Legos. Basically, we just have to take all these pieces and make it into a thing that resembles something that resembles the thing. We're just gonna start by taking our one piece here, and we're gonna tack weld it right here. And that's how we're gonna start. Went ahead and tack welded these 2 together. These 2 are gonna make our little 180 U-bend that goes back this way. This piece right here, it's gonna go here, and then we just need a straight piece about the length of that into our U-bend, and that side should be tack welded up. Now we're just gonna take our straight piece that we just cut off, we're going to tack weld it onto this piece. We'll line it up, see if it fits on there, and then we'll weld up this piece and this piece, get all the shrinkage out of it, and then put it on for the final time. Now, technically, this should fit in here. Just like that. Something like that. It's pretty close. It's not that close. I gotta tip that other one up a little bit. But it's still pretty close. Like I said, we're just gonna weld this thing up to get all the shrinkage out of it because you don't wanna weld up too many joints at one time. I'm not gonna worry about back purging it or anything like that. The weight on the turbo is gonna be supported somewhere else. This is just holding exhaust gases. We could have used like 18 gauge steel, and this is like Schedule 10 piping, so no issues with the cracking. While we let that one cool, we're gonna go ahead and work on our second runner. Remember, we have to incorporate our V-band into the second runner in order to get both of them to bolt into the motor. And that's one runner welded up and made. It just needs to be welded on this side right there, but I'm gonna build this one first. Not bad, not bad. Came up pretty okay. Get the second one made. Now, technically, if we slip our V-band in here, I can't do this with just 2 hands. But then this piece in my hand right here goes on that side, and if I had 3 hands or a really big lean, it would probably fit. And that's how it falls. So I'll get all that tacked up and I'll show you here in a second. Of course, I lost a little nut for the V-band when I was taking it apart. So it's on the floor somewhere, I just can't find it. But it's gonna fit up something like this. Obviously this runner's a little bit on the long side, but that's how we had to do it since the turbo sits so close to the manifold. If the turbo was lower, the whole manifold had been lower. It'd been a lot easier to snake it in there, but it looks cool still. So we got this far. I noticed that like my welds, they were getting a little bit less gas flow on them. And that's because we're out of argon in our small bottle and our big bottle. It's the weekend and unfortunately we can't get it filled this weekend, but I can try and put it on there, try and get it tack welded so it looks cool, maybe. That's kind of annoying. I probably should have filled it yesterday, but I didn't because I knew I had to go back to work tomorrow. You can tell there was no coverage on that thing. It just kind of burned the tungsten into it. Yeah, that's kind of what we ended up with. A little dual bullhorn setup, almost like my race car, really. That's the way it just had to be, and well, to make it work, which is gonna work perfectly fine, and it looks pretty cool at the same time. This little gap, it isn't gonna be that big. It's just, that's how it ended up when I tacked it. Okay, here's our cute, tiny little turbo setup. We will have to relocate our oil tank, but I'm hoping that this thing can be lower than a spot on the engine, so it could be like right underneath here. That way the oil from the turbo also goes into this, because this is like a dry sump system for this thing. It's pretty cool. We didn't work on the steering today. That's because I wanted to get these headers built. I did get the steering knuckle stuff though, so that'll be in the next video. And next video, I want to build the exhaust. I want to do dual bullhorns out the side. So if you look at some like X275 race cars, you'll see the turbo in the front sucking air in, kind of like this thing. And then you'll see that right like in front of the front tire, you'll see exhaust come out and it'll swoop up and do like bullhorns beside it. And I want really nice bullhorns. So it's going to come out right here on this V-band in the back. It's going to be like this piece right here where we wide it out. Instead of going in, it's going to be coming out, so it's going to come out dual. One comes out this side, up beside the thing, and then out the other side, up beside the thing. And then the next biggest challenge is getting the compressed air to this side of the engine, plus our throttle bodies. So we did buy like an EFI throttle body setup here that kind of has to adapt to whatever that is. That's going to be a really difficult challenge in itself. It's going to have to go like down like this, and then that's going to have to curve up into those. Those are some big throttle bodies too. Fuel injectors going here. But do you know what? I'm just one man. I love to tinker. I love having fun. I love learning new stuff. If I had an extra set of hands, for sure it would help. But would I learn as much? Maybe not. And I don't get as much done as I would like to because it's just a one-man operation here. But I'm glad you guys stick around. I'm glad you guys are subscribed. And I'm glad you hit that thumbs up button. So peace easy and get that V. I'll see you for the next one.